Welcome back to Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union Energy Update. I want to do this because we haven't done it for a while. I apologize for the delay in new readings. I have been under the weather, fending off colds and whatever it is that's going around, and also making sure that I'm taking care of my own physical health and my own well-being. So I appreciate your patience. I wanted to do this reading specifically though because we have the new moon in Capricorn. The sun is also in Capricorn. This is giving an energy of a lot of balance. And as I tune into this energy, I'm feeling King of Pentacles energy. Male, female, masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. It's just the overall energy of stability, presence, security. Capricorn energy is very stable. Capricorn energy is very structured, structure, like stability, likes discipline. It also, as I was speaking with a friend who is an astrologist, she also reminded me that Capricorn is both the combination of the mountain goat and the fish. And it's like the bridge of the practical, the grounded, the material, and the spiritual. And we're getting that kind of energy as well. There feels like there is this bridge that is being built within the self, the union of self, and this bridge that is being built with regards to this new earth energy. New earth energy has been coming through really prominently again, and you can check out the recent Ascension connections, channelings around Susan Dawn Ascension Connection. You can check out the recent Soul Path reading where we talk about support for this ascension journey and the current energies that we're experiencing, as well as the written channelings on my social media platforms. So make sure that you're following the community tab here or Facebook or Instagram where I post those updates. But it really does feel like this new earth energy is coming through again. I have reposted some sacred channelings. I'll be reposting some sacred channelings, timeless readings, powerful channelings that we've gotten over the years that are timeless, that we are being called back to because there are resonant messages in those channelings that are resonating for our current energies now. So, and that's what ascension is. It's coming down back to deeper and deeper understandings, new understandings or highlighted understandings within the self and with regards to our spiritual journey. It's almost like it's like a level up. You take algebra and then you take algebra 2 and then you take trig and then you take calculus. It's like leveling up and having deeper and deeper understandings, but you have that foundation of understanding first. And so it's going deeper and deeper and deeper into that inner spiral. You're understanding more and more and more and more about your own nature, about your own soul self, about your connection to the universe, and the interconnectedness of all things. That's what the ascension journey is. It's not just one spiritual awakening and, oh my gosh, I'm enlightened. It is layers and levels, and you're always going deeper into that understanding and into that awareness and into that connection with yourself, with the universe, with others. So that's part of the evolution, the spiritual evolution. That's part of the journey. And I'm also hearing that's part of the joy. That's part of the excitement. That's part of the adventure of our spiritual adventure, our spiritual journey, our spiritual awakening. It's deeper and deeper levels and layers of that. That's part of the joy, and part of the excitement too. I'm hearing of being human within this spiritual essence, or recognizing our spirituality within our humanness. And being the bridge between the two. That's what our ascension really shows us, is that we are the bridge between our humanity and our spirituality. And there's something that's just really so beautiful about that. It's just an expansive energy, an all loving energy. So check out the sacred channelings on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. Check out the repost. I had just reposted a channeling that we had done with regards to New Earth energy, twin flame energy with Merlin. It's called Out of the Cave, I think it's called. Check out the lessons and blessings, pick a pile from the new year, and you can check out the recent soul path reading, Beneath the Veil of Illusion, that goes deeper into the ascension energies that we're experiencing currently on the planet, and how your ascension, your individual ascension, is playing a part in the collective awakening and the collective ascension journey. I'm going to, hopefully over the weekend, planning on doing a special Sacred Union Energy update where we look at past, present, and potential future energies of these connections as a whole, as a collective. So make sure that you're staying tuned for that as well. There's a lot of higher level energy that is coming through, higher level understanding. You might have been where I've been, where you've been called to pause, called to just rest, take care of your physical body, as there's a lot that is happening energetically. There's a lot of upgrades that are happening as this is occurring, as your physical body is being called to rest, because there's a lot that's happening energetically, and your physical body is catching up to that. You might be getting upgrades to your gifts, upgrades to your energy field, upgrades to, I'm also hearing protection for a lot of you, upgrades to protection around yourself, around your journey. Again, it feels like there's a lot of an internal process that's going on right now. But this is going to lead to this, what we call a sunburst of expanded potential energy, especially coming in February. February feels really transformative. I have not channeled ahead to February except for little pieces of information at the beginning. So I'm not exactly sure yet what that means, but it feels extremely transformative. It feels very supportive. It feels like extremely expansive. It's almost like that's when we're coming out of the cocoon. So we'll see what happens in new channelings coming up. So make sure that you're staying tuned to this channel. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're clicking that little bell so you get notified. And make sure that you are subscribed over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections as well. That's where we do the deeper dives into the ascension journey, the sacred union path of ascension, really understanding our connections to ourselves, to our twin flames, our counterparts, and to the universe, with these teachings, with this guidance on a higher level, on a higher energetic level. So we're going to be diving deeper into those channelings as well. We have a couple of new channelings over there if you've missed them. All right, so I want to just kind of bring this down a little bit and see what is happening with these counterparts and with the union energies, in almost like the physical plane. Maybe not the physical plane, but with this new moon energy, with this Capricorn energy, it really feels like something is really stabilizing. Energy is really stabilizing is what it feels like with this Capricorn energy. Neutralizing is also what I'm getting. So if energies had been rocky, back and forth, imbalanced, it feels like something is really neutralizing. I'm also hearing the heart chakra is neutralizing. So if there had been a lot of pain, heartbreak, purging within the heart chakra, it feels like those energies are neutralizing, coming back to the 0 point, coming back to a place of balance and expansion within the heart chakra. And you might actually be experiencing this with regards to your counterpart, with regards to your twin, whatever it is that you want to call it. The label doesn't matter. It's the connection. And labels are just a way to help us understand the connections that we are experiencing along this journey. So take it as it resonates for you. Now, what's interesting about this is I was experiencing this myself, where all of a sudden, just a couple of days ago, I felt this expansion in a way that I hadn't experienced before. Now, when I was back in Glastonbury in Europe, I was having a lot of experiences with the divine masculine energy. The sacred masculine is what they had brought forth, and it was something that I had never experienced on the 6-7 years of this journey that I've been on. It was truly profound and truly moving, and I talk about that in Sacred Channeling. I can't remember what it's called. It's the Glastonbury one, the Europe one, something about the sacred masculine, revisiting the sacred or something like that, receiving the sacred, something along those lines. Um, I'll try to remember to put links in the description box of everything that I'm referencing. It was very similar to that, but it was also different in a way. And I do not have the words to articulate what it was that I was experiencing. I've had some experiences where I have been shown my growth in the past couple of weeks. I have had some experiences where I've shown how I have shifted patterns and continue to shift patterns in how I engage, and how I am anchored into a new energy, and how I communicate, and how I am honoring myself. I've been seeing that in physical interactions with people. But I've also had an internal process that's been going on, as many of you have as well. Uh, we talked about that internal process, and it just felt like an expansion. And the other day, I just felt a wave of unconditional love, absolute love. And I felt that along my journey in spades, but not like this. And it felt like I was missing my twin. It felt like I was missing my masculine without missing them. I still felt peace. I still felt balanced. I did not feel a yearning with this missing. I did not feel a longing with this missing. I did not feel a need with this missing. There was no need for reconciliation. There was no need for communication. When I say the word missing, it wasn't like there was a part of me that I was looking outside of myself for. It didn't feel like it was missing. It still felt like presence, and it still felt like love. So it wasn't missing as in there was like a missing piece, or like there was longing or there was yearning. Um it was just this love that I was feeling inside of myself, and like it was coming from the masculine, like it was coming from the counterpart. And again, it wasn't like there was a yearning, it wasn't like there was a longing. I didn't feel like something was separate from myself. Missing is not the right word, but I don't have another word for it. I don't know how to sometimes articulate this energy because it goes beyond what the logical mind tries to make sense of. It's what's felt within the higher heart. And that's what love is. Love is this expansive energy within the higher heart, and it doesn't have this logical output to it. It just is. And so what I allowed myself to do was just to accept it, just to feel it. And so it was like, again, this missing, but it wasn't like I was forgetting a piece of me, or like there was something that I needed, or there was some longing or yearning. It was just a connection that was being felt. So it felt like there was a lot of telepathy that was happening. Um, I'm going to leave that there because I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to articulate it yet. I'm just going to leave that there. And if that resonates with anybody, if you know how to articulate it better through your own experience, if you had a similar experience, please feel free to share. All right, so let's see what's going on for the Divine Masculine. And I'm using the Energy Oracle deck because I feel like this is bringing it down a little bit. I also brought out a higher level deck, the Angels of Atlantis deck, but I feel like we're going to work with this. There is going to be an extended reading over on the Patreon as well, where we'll go deeper into the connection, what's challenging the connection, how you're feeling about each other, etc. But let's see what's going on for the masculine energy right now. Take it as it resonates for you. You can take it as your own inner masculine for the masculine that you're connected with. Just regular counterpart energy, general counterpart energy, or for the masculine within the general collective, and for the feminine as well. So let's see what's going on for the masculine at this time. What's going on for the masculine with this new moon energy specifically? What's shifting? What's going on for the masculine? We have this angel of balance. Isn't that what I said? That it really feels like we're balancing out. It really feels like there's this neutral energy that's coming in. And I feel like this is a real healing energy that's coming in. So if there had been an imbalance within your connection, if there had been an imbalance that was felt within communication, within the energy, within how you engage with each other, something is really balancing out. And I feel like what this is for the masculine is there is a shift in perspective that is bringing in that sense of stability, bringing in that sense of balance for them. They're shifting their perspective around the feminine, they're shifting their perspective around the connection, and especially they're shifting their perspective around themselves. This is the energy that we have been channeling for the past several months, where it feels like something is coming online. The balance of the mind and the heart, the balance of the intuition with their logical mind, really tuning into the heart space and having those expansions. And this is also that enlightenment, that illumination that we've been channeling. They're really seeing themselves differently, seeing the connection differently. I'm feeling where they had been very guarded, put a wall up against the feminine, because of whatever pain was experienced, because of projection, where they had projected onto the feminine, or where they had guarded themselves or their heart against the feminine because of past pain, because of past experiences, because of duty, because of obligation to other things, prioritizing other things. Whatever the situation was here, there was a guard, there was a wall up against the feminine energy. They've been healing their inner feminine. They might even be healing feminine energy within their own life. Mothers, sisters, other relationships, spouses, depending on what the situation is. This is a collective reading. It does feel like they have been healing that feminine energy. And as they heal the feminine energy in their life, that's a reflection of the feminine energy healing within them. I should put it the other way. As they're healing the feminine energy within them, that's reflecting in feminine energy healing within their life. And you're like the ultimate feminine. Divine feminines, you are like the ultimate divine feminine. And if they were not healed, or if they had some distorted energy or perspectives towards feminine energy as a whole, then they weren't able to see the unconditional love that you were. They weren't able to see that reflection, because you are that mirror. You hold that mirror up to them. You hold that mirror up to each other. That's what this connection is. The connection is you are that oneness. You are that oneness for each other. And think about it, you have a high level of compatibility, not just in like a soulmate way, but a high level of compatibility when it comes to emotions, when it comes to intelligence, when it comes to physical, and how your physical lives might parallel, maybe looking a little bit different, of course, coming at it from different angles. But underneath the surface, the energy of what is experienced is very parallel to each other. That's the connection. What am I missing? Oh, spiritual. Like you have a similar spiritual understanding that might not always be communicated. And that's where it might feel like you're opposites. But we had channeled a long time ago this sacred channeling on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections called the Union of Opposites. And what this is, it's two sides of those same coin. You have the same values, you have the same dreams. It might look different on the surface, but when you tune into the energy, it is the same. So you're approaching it from different angles, and that's where communication or misunderstandings might come up. And it's about learning how to communicate with each other. It's about learning how to open up to each other so that you are communicating energetically along with your actual communications, that you're on the same page, so that you're understanding each other. And there's this saying that, you speak from the soul, and that's what you do. You've always connected from the soul. It's just your human stuff, your ego, your past patterns, your pain, trauma, experiences, all the triggers and stuff that comes up between you two. But you've always communicated soul to soul. That is this heartfelt connection. And so I feel like there's a sense of stability and a sense of balance that's coming in to the divine masculine. And I'm also feeling like they're experiencing within their physical life. So if their physical life had felt very chaotic, then I feel like there is this sense of stability that is coming in. They're moving away from the chaos and moving more towards peace. I'm getting drawn to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, and we have the heart chakra, that heart expansion happening here. So at the bottom of the deck, we have that door to spirit, and I feel like that is what is happening. Even if this is a spiritually attuned individual, I feel like this is a deeper layer of that, not just connecting intellectually with the logical mind to spiritual understanding and topics, but embodying that within the heart space, feeling that within the heart space. Connecting energetically within the heart space. This is the heart expansion. And that's what I mean, that spiritual awakening has many different layers and many different levels. And so we can understand spiritual topics. Divine Feminines, you've been through this as well, through your own spiritual awakenings, through your own ascension. We have different levels of understanding, intellectual understanding of concepts and topics when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to beliefs, when it comes to understandings. But really anchoring it in, integrating it, embodying it, feeling it, brings it to a whole different level. And I feel like that's what the Divine Masculine is experiencing now. So what's going on for the Divine Feminine? What's going on for the Divine Feminine? We have action. So interesting. It fell over in like this reverse energy, and that's this pause energy that I feel like the divine feminine is experiencing. And it might be a little bit frustrating. I know I've been frustrated because I can feel the motivation, I can feel the creativity, I can feel the desire for movement, but it's almost like we've been called to pause. We've been called to slow down. We've been called to pull back a little bit. And that is because there's so much that is happening energetically that you might be called to slow down physically so that there's an alignment that's happening here. So again, it's like the physical needs to catch up to what's happening and shifting energetically. And I'm also hearing, Divine Feminines, that you are shifting energetically so quickly that that's where the physical has to slow, or you have to slow down so that the physical can catch up. Um, for example, so much is happening. There might be so much healing. You might be purging. You might be shifting beliefs. You might be getting upgrades. And so you might, rather than wearing yourself out and burning yourself out, it's like you're called to slow down so that your physical world can catch up to the changes that you're experiencing internally, the changes that you're experiencing energetically. It's almost like what I'm seeing are the pieces of a puzzle, and it's, pieces of the puzzle have to be rearranged. It's almost like what I'm getting is, when you first start a puzzle, there are some pieces that are flipped over and showing pieces of the picture, and some pieces that are like the back, the gray, the brown backing of it, like that cardboard backing of it, so you don't know what the piece is. There's no picture of it, so you can't put it where it needs to be. It's like what I'm seeing is you've started like this new puzzle, you've started this new cycle based on this new energy, and you have like this greater picture of where you're headed, of where you're going, of new cycles that are beginning, and you want to go forward. You want to complete it. You want to not complete it, but you want to get started on it. You're excited for what's to come. You can feel the anticipation. But what's happening is you have to spend some time turning over all those pieces so that you know where to start. It's like the physical has to catch up to the energy first. You have to turn those pieces over so that you know, okay, this is a corner piece. Oh, okay, this piece is all blue, so this goes in the blue section. Or this piece is all purple, so this goes in the purple section. So it's like you have to prepare it. You have to have some sense of order to it. And it's interesting that order and chaos, right? Moving from the chaos to the peace. It's like you have to have some sense of order, some sense of structure. Your physical world has to catch up to what has changed energetically. So I feel like there's this slowdown energy, but the slowdown energy I'm also getting is because the divine masculine is catching up. Now, when I say that, recognize that nothing is hierarchical, nothing is superior or inferior when we're talking about this. That is an old paradigm. That's the ego that thrives in competition and division and separation. When we're talking about catching up, the feminine energy, she's energetically ahead. She has her ascension first so that she can bring those templates down, and the masculine is still going through their ascension, but they're experiencing it in a much more physical place. And the masculine is actually holding space for the divine feminine's ascension. Um, so as the divine feminine is going through her ascension, the masculine is still experiencing their experiences, but he's holding space for the feminine because she's bringing those templates down into the physical experience, and the masculine is very grounded to the physical plane, to the material plane. And so what happens is then the roles reverse, and the masculine begins going through their ascension, and the feminine then holds space for the masculine energetically. And so that has been what has been happening over the course of your ascension journey. And so what's happening here is it's balancing out. There's an evenness that's happening here. And you see how it's like the masculine is right here. Like the masculine is right walking beside you, has always been walking beside you, has always been with you. It's just been that illusion of separation. It's just been that illusion of division. It's been that miscommunication. Been that misunderstanding. Because what happens is it's like the energies have to align. And that's when you meet your divine counterpart, right? You meet your divine counterpart because the energies are aligning, because it's time, because you've come a long way on your individual journey, and they've come a long way on their individual journey, and that's when you meet. I will never forget when I met my counterpart, my twin. I've met him a long, long time ago in elementary school, but we had spent a lot of time apart, not connecting. And so when I met him in 2016, for coffee, it felt like my whole body was vibrating, and I didn't understand it at the time. But it didn't feel like it was aligned yet. I can understand it now looking back that it didn't feel like it was aligned yet. I still had a lot of growth to do. I still had a lot of self love to do throughout that year, and throughout that next year we still caught up every once in a while. Every few months we would check in and just say, hi, how are you doing, what's going on. We still caught up on Facebook and stuff like that, but we didn't see each other again for another year. And throughout that year, I was experiencing a lot of stuff with changes, inner child healing. We had sold my grandmother's house. My grandmother had gone into assisted living. So a lot of changes within my own growth, my own healing, my own inner child healing, my own self-love healing. Because I was healing from illness, and I remember it was right after a trip to New York when it was my first trip after being sick, where I was really traveling on my own, and I had this sense of independence again. I had this sense of freedom again. I had this sense of loving myself again. I had this heightened energy. It was right after that trip that I saw my counterpart again, where we met for coffee again, and it was like, oh my gosh, like that was the catalyst moment for our ascension journey. That familiarity, that immediate sense of love and connection. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I just knew that something was shifting, that something was happening. I knew that this was an important connection. I knew that somehow he was important to me. But of course, I didn't know then what I know now. It takes a journey to understand what that connection actually is. All I knew was that I felt this illogical love for this man that I knew and yet I didn't know. And that connection just kept blooming, and I just kept saying to myself, I'm going to have an open heart. I'm going to just allow myself to keep my heart open, whatever this means, wherever this goes. And I kept trusting my intuition and following my intuition and following my heart. And that was a bit of a challenge, but it was also a blessing because it brought me through so much. It taught me so much, and there was so much love. And even though there was a lot of pain and a lot of heartbreak, and a lot of you know, even sadness within the connection and confusion within the connection, I will always believe that there was love there in the connection. Underneath everything else that was experienced, I will always believe in the love. And so it's interesting because it feels like what happens is it's time. And so that's when union comes about too, when it's time, when both counterparts have shifted in consciousness, when both counterparts have done their inner work, when both counterparts are at a place energetically where they're able to come together and sustain that union, sustain the harmony, sustain the peace. It doesn't mean that in physical connection you're not going to have challenges and obstacles, but it's about working consciously together. It's about honoring the connection and honoring each other and seeing each other for who you are, the light, the love, the unconditional love of who you are. And that's what it is. That's what the union is. The union is recognition and honoring of the connection, and working consciously together for the connection, for each other, in support of each other, lifting each other up and allowing for that growth. And yes, there's going to be triggers, and yes, you're going to challenge each other. But when you are in that union, you're both challenging each other in loving ways, and that's the difference. It's a love that is persistent. It's a love that is underneath. It's the current that holds the connection together. It's the love that flows between the two of you. And so when you are both in a conscious state and you're consciously working towards the connection, then you are allowing for the growth. It's like you're both putting in the effort. You're both watering each other. It's not one person upholding the connection. It's not one person doing all of the work or all of the effort. It's both of you working for the connection, and that's the Trinity energy as well. It's giving birth to the relationship. The relationship, the connection is that third energy that you nurture as well. So alignment, it really feels like there is this alignment that is happening for the two of you. And Divine Feminines, you might be feeling this slowdown because there's an alignment that is happening within your own life as well. And as it aligns within yourself, it's going to align within the connection too. So let's get a little bit deeper before we go into the extended and just see what else we need to know with regards to this connection. I'm trying to figure out what deck we want to use tonight. I'm gonna use this one. I really like this one. All right, so let's see what's going on with the divine counter or divine masculine when it comes to this connection. We have the Ten of Swords. I just got very, very flushed. Like a wave of heat just like moved through my body. And I feel like there is this release of energy, like a release of old energy. And that's what this Ten of Swords feels like. Yeah, and the Three of Pentacles here. It's like releasing separation, releasing any of that old pain, that old heartbreak, that old energy, releasing. This feels like there is an ending to the old way of being, the old way of thinking, the old view, perspective, like we were channeling in the beginning. And with the Three of Pentacles, it's like wanting to work together. If you guys have been on my channel for a long time, you know that the Three of Pentacles was once my union card, still is in a way, but they showed it to me in a little bit of a different way. This is the interconnectedness of your connection, the unity of your connection. It's God's source, it's divine masculine, it's divine feminine, all connected, always connected. And I feel like the divine masculine is beginning to really feel this connection. They're also bringing me to, this is the Vesica Pisces. And again, in that Glastonbury channeling, we talked about the Vesica Pisces. This is the connection. This is the masculine and the feminine connected as one. This is the union energy, and I feel like they're beginning to really feel that union energy within themselves and understand the connection and understand that union energy. What else do we need to know about the connection? How is the masculine experiencing or feeling the connection? Yeah, temperance. This is the balance. Once again, balance. But I like the temperance energy because temperance energy is this healing energy. It's this harmony energy. So it's healing anything that was out of balance, healing anything that was still kind of pushing away connection to self, connection to their counterpart, connection to other, is healing the separation energy. I feel like that's what the divine masculine is experiencing right now. They're healing separation energy on a very visceral level, on a very deep level. And beginning to really understand that and feel that and integrate that. This is amazing energy. This is what the conscious masculine is all about. This is that warrior kind of energy for the divine masculine. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy. This is a beautiful masculine. Yeah, look, Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is that healing energy. This is that surrender energy. And I feel like that's what's happening. There's a healing, a great healing that is happening here, and it feels like there's this healing of the separation. Fascinating. Okay. It's funny, I was talking to a friend, and it's like I am having such a hard time even still believing in this. But all along my journey, you know, it was never anything that I anticipated doing. It's just what has occurred. It's just what's come out. And I've had to trust myself. I've had to believe. And I've faltered in that. I've doubted myself. I've had people who I am very, very close to, my own counterpart, doubted me. And I took that to heart because he was somebody that I trusted implicitly. And to experience that doubt was heartbreaking for me. But through that, I've learned to value myself and trust myself and believe in myself and the work that I do and what I bring forth. And I feel like that's starting to come back. And so even though my ego is still kind of like, what the heck? Like, is this really happening? My soul is like, yes, it is happening. And this is what we learn on the ascension journey. You know, everything is energy. And because everything is energy, everything is possible. Everything is possible. And so I always say to my clients, this is where you're in your power. This is where you trust yourself. Honor what it is that you're receiving. Trust your intuition and trust the energy, especially when it comes to your counterparts and what you're experiencing. So, okay, let's see what's going on for the divine feminines when it comes to the connection. We have, what is that? Oh, the High Priestess. This is French, so I have to take a minute. The High Priestess. But I'm getting drawn to this. Look at how there's like the two, right? But it's merged. This is like twin energy. But it's merged. You're merged as one. You are one. You might be two individual people having two individual personalities, two distinct lives, but you are one energetically at the core. You are one, and that's what this connection is. It's reminding you that you are not separate, that there is always this union. We channeled a long time ago, you're always in union. You've always been in union. You can check out those channelings here as well. And I feel like this is what you are beginning to really trust and believe in again. Even if your ego mind that has been hurt in the past and is trying to protect, doesn't want to believe it. Now, take that with at face value. Take that with a grain of salt. Take that as it resonates for you and your journey. That does not mean that you have to accept any poor behavior or patterns or repeating cycles from the past. That's where you have shifted in your energy. That's where you've grown. And that's where you have moved into a different level. And so you're requiring a different level of your masculine. You're requiring a different level of connection. You're requiring a different level of relationship, because this is you fully honoring yourself and how you have shifted and how you have grown. So the old patterns, the old behaviors, the old games, the old etc. isn't going to work anymore, because you're honoring yourself in a new light now. And this is where the divine masculine is recognizing that they're going to need to step up in consistency, in presence, in honesty, in vulnerability. And that's part of the learning that they're beginning to experience for themselves. And that's authenticity. That's being true to who they are. And the more that they're in their authenticity, the more they're able to connect with you in that higher light, in that higher sense of connection. Because that's the frequency that you're operating at now, divine feminine. And so any masculine energy or any connection that is not in that authenticity, that is not in that presence or that stability, divine feminines, you're recognizing, nope, that's not for me. That's not for me anymore. So really tuned into your intuition, divine feminines, really honoring your intuition and the energies. Tell me more about the divine feminine and this connection. Tell me more about the divine feminine. We have the Hanged Man. Yeah, you're at a little bit of a pause right now, divine feminines. But I do feel like the energy is going to be moving again fairly soon. And again, I'm getting February energy. So just allow yourself to give yourself whatever it is you need right now. You might feel as if your connection is in a way suspended right now. Your connection is at a pause right now. But there is some energy that is ramping up here. I do feel like for many, there's going to be some kind of communication. Now, again, trust your intuition and make sure that you are in tune with your value, you're in tune with your highest energy, so that you're only allowing yourself to receive what is in that highest frequency, what is in that highest energy, how you have grown, how you have changed. If somebody's still operating in old energy, sneaky behavior games, player energy, just old energy, you don't have to engage in that. Like, that's your choice. That's where you have empowered yourself. That's where you have allowed yourself to detach from the connection, hold space and hold love, but you're not giving into that anymore, because you have moved out of that energy. You've moved out of that cycle. That might trigger divine masculine too. But that's only because it's a call for them to rise. You're challenging them to rise into their best and highest self. And if they're still in that old energy, that's not their best and highest self. And so the trigger is just to show where they're being challenged to grow, where they're being challenged to rise even more. So something's shifting, divine feminine, and I feel like you can feel that. Tell me more. Let me get one more card for the divine feminine when it comes to this connection. Tell me more for the divine feminine when it comes to this connection. We have the Six of Wands here, and Six of Wands is success, victory, recognition. And I feel like you are recognizing yourself, you're recognizing this connection, you're recognizing your divine masculine, and you are trusting your intuition when it comes to that recognition. When I say the word recognition, I mean an honoring of yourself, an honoring of your masculine, and an honoring of the connection. This is that expanded energy. This is that love energy that we were feeling. It's not that you're seeking outside of yourself for something, it's that you are honoring the connection within you. You're honoring the masculine within you. You are honoring the feminine within you. You're honoring the whole. And this is where your victory is, because you have overcome all of that chaotic energy, which is the Five of Wands that precedes the Six of Wands. Five of Wands is chaotic energy, it's competition, it's division, it's conflict, it's chaos. And you have overcome all of that to come to this place of a higher level of understanding and higher level of connection with yourself. And so I feel like that's where you're feeling the energy shift, especially when it comes to your connection with counterparts. And the bottom of the deck, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Like, this is you manifesting. This is you manifesting. And you have the infinity sign here. Like, this is you manifesting abundance. This is you manifesting just new life, new cycles, new higher energies. You are in this energy of creation, divine feminines. Okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to get a card of guidance for the new moon, and then we're going to move into the extended reading for the Patreon. So what card do we, or what messages of guidance do we need to know for the divine masculine? What guidance do we have for the divine masculine with this new moon energy? We have a fiery climax approaches. I feel like this is a major cycle that's ending, but I'm also getting like a major realization, major epiphanies. And we had channeled that a couple of days ago with regards to the ascension energy, that a lot of clarity is coming in, a lot of enlightenment, a lot of epiphanies, a lot of aha moments. Like, things are falling into place, things are being put into place. There's a huge perspective shift that is happening here. And so it's almost like the old way that they were operating, the old way that they were viewing things, the old way that they may have been viewing the connection, viewing you, out of their pain, out of their heartbreak, out of their experiences. It's like now they're beginning to see the truth. Now they're beginning to see the love. Now they're beginning to have their heart expansion, have their heart open, because they were viewing it from a very distorted lens, from a very guarded lens. And that just pushed the connection away. That just pushed maybe not just a connection, but opportunities away in their life. It pushed, maybe family, maybe friends away, pushed themselves away, pushed the connection to themselves away. And so now what's happening, and I feel like this has been happening for a while now, is they've been drawing in again, because they've been connecting to themselves differently, because they've been respecting themselves, having that self-worth, recognizing their value, because they've been loving themselves. They're now able to see things through the lens of love. They're able to see things differently. Where they were in maybe even a victimhood or a scarcity mindset, now they're moving into an energy of recognizing where they're supported, where they've been held, where they've been loved, and really understanding that. And so I feel like this is a conclusion of a major cycle for them. I've talked about this for a lot of my clients as it's come up for them. Pluto is moving into Aquarius on January 20th. And that's significant because we are ending a 15-year cycle for the cardinal signs. So Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. Ending a 15-year cycle. What's interesting to me, and I've shared this with my clients, is that when I was in Carcassonne, France this past fall, I recognized that the last time I was there was in 2008, which was 15 years ago. And I said to myself, I shared with you guys that, oh my gosh, it feels like a full circle moment. This was 15 years ago that I was here and I was experiencing my first spiritual awakening. I was a hot mess back then in 2008 because I was going through a spiritual awakening when I went to France for that first time. And then now that I was back in Europe, I ended up going to Carcassonne. It just worked out that way that we were there. The whole trip was serendipitous. The whole trip was like fated. But it worked out that it was like closing a cycle. And I only learned weeks after that that's supported astrologically by this Pluto moving into Aquarius and out of Capricorn. ending a 15-year astrological cycle of a lot of karma, a lot of change, a lot of chaos. And I have Libra, Sun, Aries, Moon, and Capricorn rising. So this was like, I have experienced a shitload of trauma and a shitload of struggle over the past 15 years. So I am ready for peace. I am ready for harmony. I am ready for good stuff to happen. So if you have those cardinal signs in your chart, significant places in your chart, then you might be ending a cycle as well. If you don't, then there can still be that astrological support, because that Pluto in Aquarius is going to be affecting the planet as a whole, the global collective as a whole, because that really is a shift astrologically into more authenticity. And we're going to talk about that in the upcoming 2024 year ahead reading for the collective, where authenticity is going to be extremely important. And that's what Aquarius energy is. Aquarius energy is all about authenticity and paving your own path in that energy of authenticity. Aquarius energy really does like to write their own script, really does like to live life their way. And that's authentic to them. And that's where we're heading. Authenticity is so important going forward, and embodying that authenticity. So I feel like that might have something to do with this ending of cycles, and with this closure, and with this climax of the cycles that's being experienced. And it could be beginning with this new moon. And I'm also getting, with this new moon, divine masculines are being asked to choose and decide what it is that they want. So as they're ending a cycle, obviously new beginnings happen at the same time. You can't have endings without beginnings. So what is it that you want, divine masculine? What is it that you want to create? Who is it that you want to be? You have a chance here, almost like a chance to start over. You don't have to repeat the cycles of the past, because there is conclusion here from the past, and you always have an opportunity for the new. I'm seeing the Judgment card. The Judgment is a call to rise. The Judgment is a second chance. And so are you going to take that opportunity? What is it that you want to create with that opportunity? So begin that now. Plant those seeds with this new moon. All right, Divine Feminine guidance, please. Divine Feminine guidance. Hold your vision, Divine Feminine. That's this pause energy. You might feel like you're at a pause, but hold your vision for what it is that you're creating, for what it is that you're manifesting. And I'm also getting a lot of heart energy. Hold your vision for what is in your heart. You might have been in a place of doubt. You might have been in a place of insecurity. You might have been in a place of, what can I believe? But your heart always knows. That's just the ego that you might have been pulled back into because of what may have been playing out in your physical experience. But you always know truth in your heart. That is your gift, Divine Feminine, is that you are fully connected to your heart space. You're fully connected to your intuition. So keep holding that space. Keep holding that energy within your heart. At the bottom of the deck, we have, you're very close to achieving your goal. You're very close to achieving what is in your heart, to manifesting what is in your heart. That could be a number of different things depending on what's resonating for you. But at the very core, it is the love that is in your heart. Hold your vision and hold that space for those dreams. All right, we're going to move on to the Patreon extended reading. If you want to join us over there, feel free to click on the link. And if not, have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll be back with some more Sacred Union energy updates coming up. Sending lots of love and lots of light.